welcome back to Real Reviews. This is Cody Williams, and we're here to talk about the movie Scream 6. It is the newest sequel to the horror series that most have come to love over the past few decades. I've always loved the Scream movies, some more than others, but even though I will admit that all the sequels provided something new and fresh to the table. A year later after Scream 5's release, we're already getting a new sequel that takes us to a completely new setting, Manhattan. Well, I just got done watching it and I'm ready to talk about it. The movie story follows 4 survivors of the Ghostface murders as they all leave Woodsboro behind for a fresh start in New York City. However, they soon find themselves in a fight for their lives when a new killer embarks on a bloody rampage. Surprisingly so, this new sequel is flat out awesome. Out of all the sequels that we got out of this series, this new movie ranks right up with the first 2 films. I know that's a bold statement, but hear me out on this. This ambitiously bold sequel took some risk as it combined nostalgia with some fresh new ideas, and the rewards were greatly benefited. As much as I praised last year's requel, this sequel completely blows it out of the water by miles. I do maybe just have one gripe, but of course I'll get to that later. Firstly, let's talk about what the movie does right, whether it be just how frightening some of the scenes were, the brilliant written script, great looking cinematography, and just how good the acting was. The one thing that I absolutely loved the most out of this movie would definitely have to be how anxiety-inducing some of the scenes were. None of the other Scream movies put me on edge as much as this new one did, because it was more intense than it needed to be. For that alone, I had to applaud the movie for going all out on the chase sequences. To be honest, the kills are way more brutal and graphic this time around. As much of a horror movie fanatic I am, there are some parts that even made me cringe. From the moment the movie started, I really enjoyed how the film's opening was executed. Pun intended. Ever since the inception of these movies, it's always been super entertaining trying to piece together who the suspects are before the big reveal during the climax. Without going into spoilers, I have to say that the reveal at the end of this movie was very satisfying if we're comparing it to the past few films. Let's just say that there are plenty of twists and turns to keep you guessing along the way. As much how meta the other Scream movies were, this one didn't quite accomplish that much in that territory. Well, it does a little bit, but not enough as one would expect. As far as the story goes, I thought it was a great continuation from last year's movie. Due to a pay dispute, I will admit that it's a bit odd not having Neve Campbell return as Sidney Prescott in this new movie, because after so long, her character has become synonymous with these movies. I thought not having her in the movie would bother me, but it didn't actually. She's no longer the central focus at this point in the continuing story, and I loved how the movie just wrote her character off to finally have a happy ending. As far as other legacy characters go, Courtney Cox does return as Gail Weathers. Her character does kind of feel forcibly shoehorned in, and it definitely shows. Since this new movie is a direct continuation, the main 4 leads who survived from the last movie all return. Jenna Ortega has since then become a sensation this past year after having some fantastic performances from other stuff that includes X and also the Wednesday Netflix series. I do remember criticizing Melissa Barrera's acting in the last Scream movie for being too wooden for my liking. But in this new movie, however, I do feel like that she has greatly improved. The film's production value really is top notch, which brings me to my next point. The cinematography. All the scenes were shot very well, and there is some interesting camera work involved. One particular part of the movie that I really enjoyed visually speaking was during the subway scene, as it implements the fluctuating lighting that really added another layer of tension to the scene. Easily enough, the entire movie itself is just really good looking. If there's anything about the movie that actually bothered me, it would have to be how misleading some people can survive such situations that happen throughout the movie. I won't say who or what in particular, but I just think that the movie played it a bit too safe after last year's movie took a nosedive in the opposite direction. Other than that, this was a very well done sequel. Overall, Scream 6 is a great change of pace for the series that feels like a breath of fresh air. As the movie is not afraid to try something new in a completely different setting, it somehow miraculously managed to subvert expectations. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it is one of the most idyllic made sequels to date. I give this movie an A. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to keep up with my real reviews.